Hello again. As you can see, it's another lesson, another image, and another individual oral assessment for SL students. So you can take a look at the image for a couple of seconds, and so we will listen to the student's presentation, and after that, we will check how he or she did, and the examiner's commentary, and in general assessment of how was the performance and the mark bands, everything. So yeah, without further ado, let's start and listen.
Today I have prepared a presentation about the theme of identities and more specifically health. In this photo, we see the background that is the grass, the green grass, and there is the clouds behind this. The sky is just a beautiful sky with a beautiful blue looking, but there is also on the grass a bottle of water, and there is a tape that can measure your waist. There is also the word fit and something to you can use get off the shoulder when you exercise. A healthy lifestyle can be whatever you want. You can exercise, you can just eat the right things, but the thing here is that you need to get focused on one of these things mostly. This is important right now in the world because there are so many people that have these symptoms or these disease for not being healthy. This disease decrease the number of people, the expectation of life. Mostly, these affect the world. The consequences of this are, in some cases, diabetes, high pressure, even cancer. This is not caring about the government. We need to do something about this. An example of this is USA that promote the exercise with the scholarships for the younger ones. This create the power that the kids needs to be healthy so he can get a scholarship in some gymnastic or other sports. Even I have an experience in London when I have go that I go into a shop that don't only gets close even to the size of seats, 0 to 6. I was thinking it was something bad, but I have think about it, and it's a good promotive to being healthy for the persons. Even then, I can compare the prices of the fast food there. The fast food in there is so price. There is so many things that cost a lot, and when you see here in the country, you see the low prices are for fast food. That cause bad a bad thing in the population because they need to buy the low cost prices. The the use of this the using this photo for the background creates calm for me and I think for the receptor creates a good inter with the bottle and the green grass because you can see the water flowing in the bottle. Mostly the colors are so um, live that you can see your life is going into that colors. Why this is important now? Because we need to stop being like this. We need to create some difference. We need to be more healthy. We can promote this with more photos, with more, um, with interviews for persons that have changed this. And in conclusion, if we want to increase the expectation of life, we need to change our routine into a healthy one.
Thank you very much. Why do you think that it's important to promote campaigns like this? I think that the photograph is quite effective in trying to communicate the idea that if you're fit, that would be that would give you a more plentiful lifestyle, right?
Yes.
Do you think that it's important to promote campaigns like this, or are there other more effective ways of promoting health?
I think it is effective, but more effective if it will be with media, with social media, for example, Facebook, Twitter, mostly Twitter. If you have seen the trending topics, there are so many things that don't need to be there. And if you promote a trending topic that is needs to be fit, it will create a difference, especially with the younger ones. That is the ones that are in these cell phones or in their laptops almost all the day.
Okay, I see. Do you think that people sometimes care too much about how a good body defines them as a person, or is it important to promote that kind of healthy figure? What do you think?
It is important to promote this, but at the same time, this can create a bad thing because you can create a mental disease in the person. So we need to give the persons the importance that they need to be healthy, but no being so pushy that they see if I'm not that girl, I'm bad. I need to be skinnier or even fatter to look good. We need to create in the middle a point that all the persons can understand.
I see. Do you think that media represent people who would like to stay fit realistically?
In most of the cases, no.
No.
Mostly, you can see in the media the famous persons, and you know they are fit or they have that hot looking body because they have series, and they have get an attachment that healthy is not even good.
Mm-hmm.
They have been in diets that cost a lot of their lives, and if you are saying you are skinnier, you are prettier, you are healthier, is not the right way. You need to be in the middle point that you are not skinnier or fatter.
Very good. You mentioned before that you had this experience in London and you were able to observe the prices of fast food.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, I was in London and I was with my family looking for a McDonald's because it was the fast food we can eat so we can go to the museums. And when we are there, the lowest hamburger there it was cost 40 libras,
Pounds, yeah.
40 pounds.
Mhm.
And we were like, okay, this costs 4 pounds. If we translate to our money, it costs the double that in our country. And that was shocking because you have seen all these persons that eat salads more, or the water in there is just a real problem because in Europe they don't have the enough water, so the water is just a high cost.
Yeah.
And we were there, we see that the coke and the water it was impossible, so mostly it was painful to be there in don't cannot drink water.
Oh, wow.
In some cases.
I see. Okay. We are going to move on now to the last section of the interview. Okay. And I would like to ask you, we have discussed traditions and rites of passage in our course. Do you think they are important?
Well, yes, there are because traditions are what make us an identity.
Mm-hmm.
And this identity is what identifies us.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, I have seen, and this is a topic I like to talk with my friends, that the new kids don't have any identity because the media have had created this perception that you need to be like everyone else when you are not. So I think the rites of passage and traditions make you unique as a country, maybe, or as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to don't lose this, but in case this hurts someone else or someone's lives, it needs to stop.
Okay. Do you think that they have an impact, especially on young people?
Of course, they are. Some traditions, mostly on all of their traditions, are for the younger ones to understand the past of the country or the past of the family. So this is to the kid can improve itself or herself and mostly get into the new things and see what the family wants him or her to see. Create our own perception, but with the background of the family.
I see. Do you think that they therefore should be preserved as part of a national identity or the identity of a particular group?
There are some cases that yes, it needs to be preserved. For example, the natives in each country needs to be preserved because they are the first one that be in that country. If we lost that, we have lost the background, the very background of the identity of the country, and it's something that you cannot see what important is now, but in the future, when the kids question about that, you will see it was an error. You need to take care of everything you have.
So, what should be the criteria to decide if this is an error, if this is a mistake, and shouldn't be preserved anymore?
In my opinion, is more like in the case it hurts something or someone.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in Spain, there are the corridas.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there are a tradition that is painful and ugly for that animals,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it it doesn't need to be preserved
Mm-hmm.
necessarily because it don't tell you the story of the country.
Mm-hmm.
It don't tell you a context. It
Mhm.
just tell you a game they play.
Mm-hmm.
A painful game for a animal that is just suffering.
Mm-hmm.
In case from others, example in India with the younger girls, with the dowry system, I think in there is even more painful for the families and the girls. When it's painful related into a tradition, I think it needs to delay that tradition.
I see. If you do you think that traditions that are worth preserving are under the challenge of the modernization and all of the technological age?
Well, yes, mostly because these natives mostly needs to get with the modern innovation.
Yes.
If they don't innovate their products or innovate the way to sell them, they will be lost, and they will that persons will die that culture and no one will know about it, and after years you will see that things they have do and just high prices because there is no anyone manufacturing right now. So I think it is important to give uh, that types of cultures or groups the help so they can come into the media or into the background population right now with the cell phones and all the stuff of internet so they can live with them live with it.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss.
Well, quite good one. Let's check the mark map. As you can see here, it's not a high mark. It's around 20 out of 30. The language seems to be the weakest part, weakest point of the student. Command of the language is partially effective, which means vocabulary is generally appropriate, but grammar is basic. Again, structure of the language is basic. They didn't use good and high level or high register, as I explained to you before. Complex sentences and words. Also, pronunciation is okay. Sometimes there is mispronunciation, sometimes that can interfere with the communication. Message was quite alright for the visual stimulus. Message for the discussion, very good. And interactive skills, which means listening, participation, and everything, that also was really good. And in total, this candidate, if they could work more on using more complex language, which means complex structure and complex vocabulary. If you have the same issue, please work on it. Please work on using idioms, using expressions, the perfect and appropriate use of grammar, tenses, a little bit more complex, not basic, not simple, and hopefully you will also increase your mark and get a way better mark. So thank you so much. See you soon. Take care.